But now we got a nice little pan sauce. Tonight we're making steak dinner. So the first thing I would do is get this pan, get it heated. Start off with a high flame, and then we'll turn it down as we need to. Then we're gonna season this steak. I pat it down first so I can get it nice and dry. The rest of our dinner tonight, we are going to be doing vegetable and rice stir fry. Put a little bit more cracked pepper in here. I'm gonna cut an onion up. We're gonna add this into the steak. Probably won't use all this onion, but we'll use some of it. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in there. So we are using a New York strip today. To see a little bit of smoke is when you know the pan is ready. That's normally what I go by. It's gonna take a little bit for this pan to heat up. Obviously it's a nice thick pan. And when you make a steak at home, you wanna use your heaviest pan, your nicest, non-stick, thicker pan, because it's gonna hold heat well. And that's what you want. Now, if you really wanted to, you really want to test your pan, you can do the tip of this steak. And if you see here how it's sizzling? I'm gonna get some of these onions to sweat in there, and then we'll move them out of the way. And then we can remove the onions if we want to. Let's get this in the pan. Kind of moved it around a little bit. We got a nice heat going on right now. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Once we got those natural oils going in there, we could add a little bit of butter, but if you added the butter in right now in the beginning, it would burn. So I'm gonna just get this wok going on low at least. At least we got a hot pan for the most part. So you just wanna turn that on low. Get that pan going so that when its time is ready, we can just blast it out. We're just gonna give it a quick peek. I just wanna see what this is doing. Like I said, I have a pan like this at work. I just never used this pan yet. I'm nervous because I haven't used it multiple times. And you'll notice that. You'll notice as you use a cast iron pan, in time it'll just season a whole lot better and just create like a nice surface on everything. Cooking away, cooking away. We're gonna move these onions around a little bit. Put a little bit of thyme, tiny bit of rosemary, a little bit of salt and pepper on there. And so I'm keeping these onions to the outside a little bit so they don't burn. My normal tongs that I have from work, I left them at work. So I'm not used to using tongs like this, but you guys can use anything. Use a knife, a fork, a spoon. It's getting a little bit of color. I'm gonna drop a butter tab on top. Ultimately, it's gonna go in there. And then we're gonna save a little bit of butter for the sauce. Mix those onions around in that butter real quickly. Oh, you can smell all the fragrances. Like I said, a steak dinner does not have to be intimidating at all. I'm just gonna use a spoon because these tongs is not doing it for me. I'll just use a spoon. Okay, we got a good crust now. I'm gonna go on there, give it a little bit more butter. Get those fragrances going in there. All right. We're gonna turn up this wok a little. So we want this to come out right when this is done, we want that to come out. And this pan is a little bit hot, so I already had my towel ready right there. So I'm already testing it. It's definitely still rare. I'm gonna start worrying about this stir fry. So we'll start these onions first. Kind of get it mixing in there. This smells so fragrant. So fragrant. I actually backed the whatchamacallit because it's kind of spitting on the, I want to make sure it doesn't get the camera. A little bit of garlic in there. All right, let's go with this. And there's no need to do what I just did. This why it's a stir fry. You're just going to need to stir right in the pan. Keep that flame up. We're going to go a little bit of garlic. I'm going to roll this butter in here so we can make the sauce for the steak. I'm going to pull that steak out and let it rest for a little bit. Really soon. Yeah, we're getting really close to the end of this steak being done. All right, we're going to pull this steak off. It's definitely rare. All right, we're going to put the rice in now. A little bit of herbs. Put that down there. Get a little bit of this oil out of there. You don't need all this oil. So you're going to want to drain some of this. I'm going to stick these herbs up here. You don't necessarily want that in your sauce. Now for the fun part. Got a little bit of stir fry sauce. While we got that going, we're going to grab this wine. You always want to pull your pan off the stove if you're going to deglaze. Swish that around there, get all those nice bits from that steak in there. A little bit of beef broth. A little bit of Dijon mustard. Mix that in right with that Dijon. Now we got a little pan sauce that's going to thicken up a little bit. See how it's starting to thicken up? Got a little bit of heat. I'm going to add a little bit more heat back to this. But now we got a nice little pan sauce. And you're pretty much done. That right there. Shut that off. Check your stir fry. Got a little stir fry. And you got your steak. We can pull off the thyme and everything else.
Looks yummy. And smells it. Let it sizzle down that steak.